Hi, everyone. This is Anushli, your coach and your coach developer, connecting with you with our wonderful coach, Lisa from UK, to be part of this social conference, which is primarily focused on cognitive biases. So the intention of the conference is to create more awareness about cognitive biases and also to reduce the cognitive biases because it's always an ongoing journey. Cognitive biases are going to be part of our day-to-day life, but how can we become more aware about it and do something about it? And as coaches, now for an example, if you sit with Lisa, she will help you to figure out what are these biases, known, unknown biases that I could work on based on her expertise. Or if you're a coach who's listening right now, sitting with a coach supervisor like me, might help you to understand what are the cognitive biases that you have in your coaching practice. So with that note, I would like to welcome you to get to know more about Lisa. Okay, Lisa, thank you so much for joining today to give this small interview to the audience about, related to this conference and the cognitive bias. And let's start with, can you share a few words about your journey of becoming a coach and what made it to be really meaningful in your journey?
Thank you, Anushli. Hi there, everybody. I became a coach in 2020. I've always been in the group exercise realm. As a group exercise coach, I worked as an actor for 2 decades, and I wanted to evolve my coaching beyond the physical realm of training people for their bodies. It didn't really fulfill me. It didn't fulfill me in the way I needed it to. So I still do that work part-time. So I wanted to see how else I could coach people more mentally. So in 2020, I did a course and I decided that my level of expertise is in group environments, is in speaking in group settings, having a performance background. So I decided to amalgamate performance with coaching. And as where I am now in my life, it felt right to help younger women who want to have successful careers in corporate and who are scared to use their voice. So even though I'm not from a corporate background, I'm from a creative background, I can empathize and understand what it's like to be a female working in male-dominated environments, such as in gymnasiums and on film sets and in theaters, and what it was like to be young, feel quite vulnerable, and not feel that I could use my voice in the way that I needed to because I was a very young woman. So that's primarily who I help, is women who are starting out in their career, but they are afraid to speak up.
Amazing, amazing. I think acting plays a major role in understanding and observing your clients and, seeing them beyond the layers, because I think it's also a way that you become empathetic to that role, right? What it means and to be in the shoes of that particular role. Maybe most of the time intentionally we don't do it as a job role, but I think acting really helps you to synchronize yourself, understand, feel, and be the soul of that particular role. And I can see how that can be the strength of your coaching practice, Lisa. And I'm sure whoever can be part of your space, the space that you hold in your coaching sessions, can really benefit from this strength, unique strength that you bring to the space. So this actually leads me and connects me to today's cognitive bias that we are going to talk about, which is on fundamental attribution error. So just to give a brief introduction to audience who are listening right now, what does it mean when you say fundamental attribution error? So we judge others on their personality or their fundamental character, but we judge ourselves on the situation of what we are going through. Example, we'll say, right? If somebody is coming very late to office, what we do is we say, oh, she's very lazy, and that's why she's coming late to office, and she's always like that. She's not punctual, and so on and so forth. But if you become late to, if you're coming late to office, what you say is, I had a very bad morning today. I had a breakdown with my vehicle, like that. You blame the situation, or you give reasoning around the situation and not around your character. This looks like a like very wonderful bias that is present in everyday context, I would say. And I will have to be candid about it. I have been I myself have also said this kind of things in my life, but I think becoming a coach and becoming a supervisor has helped me to step back and look at this bias. Hey, what am I doing right now? How is it different to me and to the other person? Can you share a few words about your experience, maybe as a coach or as a human being or as a leader or as an actor? I don't know. How has this bias played a major role in your experience?
Well, I think fundamental attribution error means that we are assuming and making opinions and assumptions about others, but more so about what others think of us, when really those assumptions are not true. So with the example you just gave initially about if somebody comes in late and then we make an assumption, we make a judgment about the reason why they're late without knowing the facts, without knowing perhaps their character or the context. Yeah. So it's very difficult in life to go through your day without forming some sense of judgment and making assumptions about people and places. But it's like what you said, it's about kind of having that awareness. So how it relates to my work is that many people who are fearful of public speaking, be it men or women, it's normally judgment that stops them. It's normally the fear of what others will think about them when they take the spotlight and they speak on a Zoom format, in person, in a meeting. And it's the fear of what others think of them that stops them from pursuing what it is that they want to pursue. So I feel that unless you know that, you don't know it. So many clients come to me, and when I share that little nugget that it's a judge that's there to protect you because you're kind of in a precarious situation, but it's not life or death. And actually you can talk to yourself and say, you know what, most of these people that are in this audience, they're not thinking what I'm thinking they're thinking. I'm overthinking it because I'm trying to protect myself. Once a client has that self-awareness or that awareness around what's going on, then we can begin to rationalize it and then realize, actually, we all do it in very low-key situations throughout our day. But when you bring it to something like public speaking, where it's much more high stakes and the adrenaline goes up, this fundamental attribution error, or as I just like to call it, judgment of yourself, judgment of others, it goes into overdrive. So I help people to recognize that and then apply tools to kind of settle it down and manage it so that you can speak in public, and so that you can learn that to check in when you're judging yourself too much or when you're judging somebody else too much, because we're all guilty of it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think as coaches or supervisors, we are day in and day out trained not to be judgmental. It is difficult. It's not as easy as we are having a conversation here. When you really sit with your client or sit with your life or the other people in your family or friends, it could be, this judge always appears within your system and asks some questions. And I think we are trained to observe that judge and make a very neutral decision, even when the client is being present, or even most of the time our clients don't know, right, that they are judging themselves sometimes when they speak up in the public speaking and all. And I think this pretty much connects to the topic that you're going to talk about in the upcoming social conference. Maybe if there's someone who's going through a self-judgment about your own ability in doing public speaking, or if you are judging someone else based on what's how do you see others and what is that I need to become aware of? Maybe it's your team member that you're thinking, oh, this guy doesn't know how to do. Maybe it's just a judgment. It's just that you have not created that atmosphere for the potential to flourish. So tell a few words about your topic and why is it important for the viewers to attend this particular session in the social conference?
Yeah, I think I think my topic will be about this. It will be about the judge, the master saboteur, and about how ultimately it is the number one factor as to why people, men and women, are scared to speak up in public. Okay, and I will talk about why that is and how to override it. And I'll also break down a little bit about the feelings that arise when we speak in front of people and how we can calm those nerves down, calm that adrenaline down, calm that fear down, so that you can really go beyond the judge, go beyond the fear, and be able to speak. I focus on women a lot because it seems to be more prevalent with females than men, but I welcome men to join as well, because ultimately it is about one of the biggest fears in the world, which is public speaking.
And let's not forget, it's also because how we were conditioned or brought up by our parents or society, because
Yes.
always we are said, shush, the others are watching you, shush, this is how you need to behave.
You should, and in our culture, it's children should be seen and not heard.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we warmly invite all of you for this wonderful session to understand what is your judge doing to you and also to the people around you, so that you can have better confidence with your own self and also with the relationship that you live in and out, can be at home, can be at workspace or in any community. So we look forward to see you there with Lisa to explore your own judge. Until then, we like to sign off from here.